Hi again, everybody. I'm Terry Vanderbeck with Sanford Sports, continuing to lead all of you athletes, coaches, and parents out there through tips that will help you around postseason time. And today's topic, we are joined by one of the sports physical therapy gurus over at Sanford Power at Sanford Fieldhouse, Josie Stockland. Josie, how are you?
Doing well, thank you.
Good. Thanks for being here. Our topic today, very specifically, is recovery during the postseason. Whether you're certainly a basketball player, if you're maybe a wrestler, you're hoping, because it's a sign of success, you have a lot of competitions in a short amount of time. That's that tournament or postseason format. So, first and foremost, Josie, what do you tell athletes going into those situations? What are a couple things that are just crucial in terms of the most important elements of being able to perform your best time after time in a short window?
Yeah, I think one of the most important things that we'll talk about with athletes is really knowing your routine. And I mean, postseason is not the time to experiment with things.
Sure.
And hopefully kind of have that down by the time you get to that point in the season. So you really want to know, because everybody's different, so really want to know what your body needs in terms of preparation or recovery, and if you're tending to any injuries or any kind of small things you're feeling that you want to have that routine for yourself down.
Sure, you bring up a good point right off the bat. Sometimes the road to recovery, or most of the time, it starts not with post-competition, it starts before competition.
Right.
So a proper dynamic warm-up, stretching routine, those kind of things are super important, even if you're more in your mind thinking about I need to recover.
Yep. And I think too, when you're having back-to-back competitions, it's really an important time where some people might need kind of a more gradual warm-up, where you wake up that next day and you need to get yourself out for a little bit of a walk or spend some time in a morning stretching routine, or the next person might just really benefit by sleeping in and getting as close to their 8 to 10 hours of sleep as they can.
Sure.
So knowing your body and what you respond best to is really important. Personally, I think a lot of athletes benefit from spending a little more time in a warm-up focused on some good pre-activation and getting things firing well as you get into those later days of competition and being able to ease into it a little bit.
Yeah, certainly. And then you mentioned the sleep, the 8 to 10 hours. Is that the number you subscribe to?
Personally?
Yeah, for athletes. Yeah, you were a college athlete yourself.
Yeah. I mean, ideally, and it's one
Okay.
of those things where we can say like, yeah, getting your 8 hours, 7 hours minimum, but 8 hours at least would be great. Some people find they're more groggy if they get longer.
Sure.
So really knowing where that sweet spot is, but definitely during that postseason competition, it's a time to prioritize it. And I think it's tricky because it's a fun time and you're there with your teammates and you want to maybe stay up and make those memories, but that's really when your body recovers, and that's just so important when you're having multiple days in a row of competition.
Sure. So in addition to getting enough sleep at night, certainly because you're maybe not at school and your day is longer, maybe you don't play till nighttime, there's opportunities to nap.
Yeah.
Again, is that okay, or should you only nap if you're a napper to begin with?
Right. Again, I think it would be, you shouldn't throw a totally random variable in there, but stretch or shooting for that 20 to 30 minute nap window can be just something that can help you feel a little bit refreshed, or just not getting certainly not past like 90 minutes where you're getting into territory where you could end up feeling a little bit groggy. But I think if that's part of your routine, even on the weekends before like weekend games, that's appropriate. And just taking advantage of whatever time of day it is, because you might play in the morning versus evening and totally different than your normal.
And that's a challenge because you're on the road, you're not near a bed, you're in a hotel, you're maybe eating at restaurants, or in this case, eating things to go, all those things. Are there things that people can bring with them, or what are some tips that they can do to kind of like work around all those sort of little pieces of adversity to make sure they prioritize the recovery piece?
Yeah, and most of the time these athletes, especially if they're playing at home, they'll have had access to the athletic training room or someplace where they might have kind of lots of fun little gadgets to help them feel as ready as possible. So packing with you anything that an athlete might want for warm-up or exercises, even like a foam roller or a rolling stick, are really pretty portable. Some athletes like to pack like a little lacrosse ball or tennis ball just for some self-massage or mobility work, and that's all very portable. Otherwise, deferring to what your team athletic trainer has along, if that's part of the part of the team, then that's a really good resource too.
Sure.
But yeah, I think thinking of all that stuff that you need to keep performing at your best and kind of planning for that in your mind as you're packing is a helpful thing, so you don't get to that moment where, you know, before every game you foam roll and you realize you forgot your foam roller or whatever. Yeah.
So in summary, you should be doing these types of things sort of all the time as an athlete. So with the postseason, although maybe a little bit of a strange time to start, maybe a good time to start a new habit.
Right.
Start it now, carry it on through, and you're going to see the benefits going into the next season.
Yeah.
And this postseason. Perfect. Josie, thank you as always. Appreciate it. We'll talk to you guys soon.